After my mom's engagement party, she dropped me off at my dad's house and told me she was leaving me behind. Now I'm navigating life with my grandparents and healing. I, 17 female, have had a rocky relationship with my mom, 45 female, for a while. 12 years ago, my parents got separated, and since then, I've met many of their partners. Last week, my mother got engaged to her longtime partner, David, 51 male. After her engagement party, she told me she wanted to start fresh. As we were driving back from her engagement party, I wanted to talk to my mom, but she seemed distant, almost like she didn't want to be with me in the car at that moment. I tried to talk to her, telling her about school and my friends, but she barely acknowledged it. Soon, we arrived at my dad's home. I hadn't seen my dad in years. He hadn't been there for me since he started his new family with his office colleague, now wife. She parked the car and turned to me. She said that she couldn't do this anymore and that she needed to start over, and that meant leaving the past behind, including me. Her voice was void of any emotion. I froze. Before I could say anything, she got out of the car, grabbed my bags from the trunk, and left them on the sidewalk. As surprised as I also was angry that she just didn't care about me. I knocked on the door for a long time, and after a few minutes, my dad answered. I could hear my half-siblings playing and screaming around. The look on his face said it all. He hadn't expected to see me, and he certainly wasn't happy about it. He let me in, but it was clear that I wasn't welcome. I felt like an intruder in my own father's home. My half-sister was having a sandwich that her mom prepared for her, and all I could think was that I wished I had a mother like she did. Feeling lost and rejected, I decided to reach out to my maternal grandparents. They had always been kind to me, and I hoped they would take me in. When I called them, my grandmother answered immediately. Without hesitation, she told me to come over. The warmth and love I felt when I arrived at my grandparents' house was overwhelming. They welcomed me with open arms, giving me a sense of belonging and safety that I hadn't felt in a long time. I spent the next few days with them, talking, laughing, and enjoying their company. This was in contrast to the cold rejection I had experienced from my mom. Feeling a bit more secure, I decided to post a picture of us together on Facebook, as I truly wanted to cherish this moment. It was a simple photo, just the three of us smiling in the living room. I didn't think that much of it at the time. I just wanted to share a moment of happiness in an otherwise difficult time. However, the reaction was swift and unexpected. My mom saw the picture and called me almost immediately, her voice filled with anger. She accused me of trying to replace her in her parents' lives, of trying to take her place. She called and started yelling as to how I could do this to her, and that I was turning her parents against her. I was taken aback by her reaction. It felt like she was twisting the knife even further, blaming me for seeking comfort and support after she had cast me aside. I tried to explain that I wasn't trying to replace her, that I just needed someone to be there for me, but she wouldn't listen. She hung up, leaving me feeling more confused than now. I'm at a crossroads. I don't know whether I should try to mend things with my mom or stay with my grandparents who seem to care about me. A part of me wants to repair the relationship with my mom, but another part of me is scared of being hurt again. My grandparents have been very supportive, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I have a place where I belong. Should I reach out to my mom and try to fix things? Or should I stay with my grandparents? Update 1. After thinking about this situation a lot, I decided it was time to have a serious conversation about what took place. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but I knew it was necessary for my healing and for them to understand my situation. As I recounted the events, I could see the shock and heartbreak in their eyes. They were devastated to learn how my mom had treated me, and it was clear that they had no idea things had gotten this bad between us. They listened intently, not interrupting, but their expressions spoke volumes. It made me sad, but a part of me also felt relieved that there's someone who genuinely cares about me. My grandparents made sure that I knew that they loved me and cared for me. They mentioned that my education would be taken care of and that I should focus on what's important. They made it clear that their home was my home, and that I deserved to be in a place where I felt safe and loved. Their support made me feel at home, and I felt a sense of relief wash over me. We got in touch with a lawyer to discuss my options and ensure that I had a stable environment to finish high school without any further stress. The lawyer was very understanding and gave us the information we needed to move forward, including the possibility of my grandparents becoming my legal guardians. When we brought this up to my parents, their reaction was explosive. My mother and father were furious, shouting and accusing my grandparents of trying to take me away from them. The confrontation was intense, with emotions running high on both sides. My grandparents, however, stood firm. They insisted that this was the best option for my well-being, pointing out the instability and stress I had been experiencing. Despite the heated arguments, they remained resolute. After a long and painful discussion, my mother finally broke down in tears. She could see that my grandparents were not trying to take me away out of spite, but out of love and concern. Reluctantly, she gave in, agreeing to the arrangement. The meeting with the lawyer was fair. He explained the legal steps required to grant my grandparents guardianship. My grandparents assured me that they were committed to seeing this process through, no matter how long it took. After the meeting, I felt an immense sense of relief and gratitude. Knowing that my grandparents were willing to take such significant steps to ensure my well-being made me feel truly valued and cared for. We began the legal process, which involved gathering documentation, attending hearings, and ensuring that all the necessary paperwork was in order. My grandparents handled it with grace and determination. I no longer felt like a burden or an unwanted presence. Instead, I felt cherished and important. This positive environment had a profound impact on my academic performance and overall well-being. My grades improved, and I began to excel in my classes, earning praise from my teachers and peers. The bond between my grandparents and me grew stronger with each passing day. We spent countless evenings talking, laughing, and sharing stories. They became not just my guardians, but my closest confidants and biggest supporters. After a few months, my mother started calling and texting me, trying to guilt-trip me into coming back. She said she was suffering without me and accused me of betraying her. Her messages were filled with emotional manipulation, and it was clear that she was more concerned about her image and feelings than about my well-being. While her words stung, I knew I needed to protect myself from her toxic behavior. I talked to my grandparents about her attempts to guilt-trip me, and they reminded me that I deserved to be in a loving and supportive environment. They assured me that I wasn't doing anything wrong by choosing to stay with them, and that I'm still processing everything that has happened. It's been an emotional roller coaster, but I am starting to see a path forward. For as long as I felt neglected and alone, to a point where I've also had a feeling that I might have been the reason why my parents separated. I'd see parents come to our school to pick up their children after school, and I've yearned for that love and care. There have been times when I thought of living with my parents in the same house, happily. Being with my grandparents has made me realize that this is the love I was seeking. As I navigate this challenging time, I'm focusing on my education and my future. I know there will be more difficult days ahead, but with the support of my grandparents and the kindness of everyone who reached out to me, I believe I can get through this. Update 2. A lot has happened since my last update. My mom showed up at my grandparents' house unannounced, demanding that I come home. I was in the kitchen with my grandmother, enjoying a quiet afternoon, when we heard a loud, insistent knock on the door, without even a greeting. She began shouting, insisting that I pack my things and leave with her immediately. She accused my grandparents of turning me against her and threatened legal action if they didn't comply. It felt like the walls were closing in as her accusations grew louder and more intense. The confrontation quickly escalated. My grandparents, who had always been calm and composed, stood their ground with remarkable firmness. She screamed that they had no right to keep me there and that it was essentially kidnapping, vowing to have them arrested. Despite the chaos, my grandparents remained composed. They calmly explained that I had chosen to stay with them and that they were not holding me against my will. My grandfather tried to reason with her, saying we all wanted what was best for me and that I needed stability and support at this time. My mom, however, was not in a state to listen. It was painful to see my mom in such a state, but it was also clear to me that my grandparents were doing everything they could to protect me. The situation reached its peak when my mom attempted to push past my grandparents and enter the house. My grandfather gently but firmly blocked her path, making it clear that her behavior was unacceptable. He told her she needed to leave and that if she continued, they would have no choice but to call the police. Through all this, I thought my mother didn't want me to be happy or loved ever at all, but I've started to feel like she missed me, though after what she said to me in the car, I feel like this is just wishful thinking. I can hear all the voices in the background, but all I need to know is whether my mother ever cared about me. My mom looked furious. She looked at me, standing behind my grandparents, and shouted that this wasn't over and that she would be back, making sure we regretted this. With that, she stormed off, leaving a heavy silence in her wake. True to their word, my grandparents called the police to report the incident. When the officers arrived, they listened to our account of what had happened and took statements from all of us. They assured us that my mom could not forcibly take me away, and that my grandparents, as my legal guardians, had the right to protect me. To be honest, I'm hurt by what my mother did to me all this time, but I would like to make things better between us, because after my dad left us for his new family, my mom took care of me well. We would watch movies and have ice cream on weekends, and I miss that. I miss the time when we would spend time together. I missed my mom. After a lot of research on the internet and talking to some people I know who provided a suggestion to make things better between my mom and me, I've asked her if we could attend therapy sessions. I told her that I wanted us to be better and that I want us to be a happy family. I soon found a therapist and scheduled therapy sessions. Though it remains a challenging process, I've set firm boundaries to protect my mental health, and with my therapist's guidance, I'm learning to navigate these complex emotions. Sometimes the arguments would grow heated. It became clear that the situation was spiraling out of control. As part of our therapy exercises, we were told to have meals together, as it's a good way to know each other and know what we're up to in our lives. My grandparents insisted that we have our dinner at their house as a family. A happy family. Seeing how close I am to my grandparents, my mother started passing sarcastic comments, and I knew she didn't like how things had turned out for me. A lot of arguments were exchanged between my mother and my grandparents. My grandmother, sensing that things could get even worse, called the police. When the officers arrived, they took the time to listen to both sides of the story and asked my mom to leave the premises. After the police left, my grandparents and I sat down together, emotionally drained but relieved. We knew that this confrontation might not be the end of the conflict, but it reaffirmed our decision to provide a healthy, loving home for me. My grandmother mentioned how she doesn't recognize her daughter after what she did. I'm happy and content with my grandparents, but I would love to be in a healthy relationship with my mother. After all that has happened in recent times, I feel like there's a lot of baggage to unpack. I often feel unwanted and unloved. I realize maybe going to therapy might help. I would like to lead a life where my past isn't holding me back. Through these sessions, I'm learning to process my feelings and build healthier coping mechanisms. It's a long journey, but each session brings me closer to understanding and healing. When I see stories like these being told on the internet, I feel less lonely, but I feel sad that they had to go through so much. My grandparents have been incredibly supportive throughout this process. They attend some of my therapy sessions with me to better understand what I'm going through and how they can help. Their love and dedication are helping me recover little by little. Every day, I feel a bit stronger and more in control of my life. Now my focus is on my well-being and my future. I'm working hard in school, exploring new hobbies, and making college plans. My grandparents are helping me apply for scholarships and look into potential career paths. Their home has become a sanctuary where I can grow and thrive without the fear of being uprooted again. It's been a couple of months since my last update, and I wanted to share how things are going. Living with my grandparents has been a completely different experience, one that I didn't realize how desperately I needed until now. The shift from a turbulent and uncertain environment to a stable, loving home has had a profound impact on me. My grandparents have gone above and beyond to ensure my well being. They have created a routine that includes family meals, time for homework, and even a few game nights to help me unwind. They genuinely care about my happiness and mental health, and this has given me a newfound sense of security and belonging. The stress and anxiety that once held me back have lessened significantly. With my grandparents' encouragement, I've been able to refocus on my studies, and my grades have improved remarkably. Teachers have noticed the change, and it feels great to be recognized for my hard work and dedication once more. I've also started participating in extracurricular activities that I had to drop before, and it's been wonderful to make new friends who share similar interests. My mom has continued to reach out, and while it's been difficult, I've decided to limit our contact for the sake of my mental health. We have a scheduled call once a week, moderated by my therapist, to keep things civil and constructive. These calls are not easy, but they provide a controlled environment where we can communicate without the emotional volatility that characterized our previous interactions. During these sessions, my therapist helps guide the conversation, ensuring that it remains respectful and focused on rebuilding some semblance of a relationship. There are moments of tension, but also moments where I see glimpses of the mother I used to know. It's a slow process, and I've had to learn to manage my expectations, understanding that healing and trust take time. I am grateful every day for my grandparents' presence in my life. Their home is a sanctuary where I feel safe, loved, and valued. This environment has allowed me to heal and grow in ways I never thought possible. My grandparents' wisdom and kindness have taught me the true meaning of family and unconditional love. I am focusing on my personal growth, my education, and building a future that aligns with my dreams and aspirations. I know there will still be challenges ahead, but with the support of my grandparents and the progress I'm making in therapy, I feel equipped to face them. Update 4. My grandparents and I recently met with a family lawyer, and I am thrilled to announce that they are now my legal guardians. This change has brought an immense sense of relief and security, knowing that I have a stable and caring household where my well-being is the top priority. I've also started a part-time job at a local bookstore. This job has been a fantastic experience for me so far. I've had the opportunity to meet some incredibly cool people who share my love for books and learning. Working here has been empowering, as it allows me to contribute to my support and save money for future ambitions, such as attending college. The job has also provided me with a sense of independence and responsibility that I appreciate. Regarding my relationship with my mom, she has been making efforts to reconnect. This process has been both difficult and painful, but I've decided to give it a chance. We continue to have family therapy sessions, and these sessions are a roller coaster of emotions, sometimes overwhelming, sometimes chaotic, and always intense. Our therapist is nothing short of a miracle worker, guiding us through the tangled web of our past. Each session feels like peeling back layers of hurt and resentment that have built up over the years. We've had moments of raw honesty that have left us both in tears. I remember one session when my mom broke down and apologized for things I never thought she would acknowledge. It was like a dam breaking. All the pain and misunderstanding came flooding out. We've also had some heated exchanges. There was a session where our voices were raised, accusations flying back and forth, and the room felt like it was on fire with all the pent-up emotions. But through it all, our therapist has been there, helping us navigate these stormy waters and encouraging us to stay the course, even when it feels unbearable. The therapy sessions have been crucial in helping us address past hurts and misunderstandings. We've unearthed so many buried feelings, some of which I didn't even realize I was holding on to. Each feels like we're navigating a minefield of emotions, carefully stepping around old wounds that still have the power to hurt. The process has been incredibly draining. There are moments when I feel like I can't take another step. I can't open up one more layer of pain. But then there are also moments of profound liberation. It's as if each painful memory we confront, and each misunderstanding we clarify, lifts a weight off my shoulders. It's paradoxical how confronting the pain head on can lead to a sense of freedom I haven't felt in years. Some days, I leave the therapist's office feeling completely wrung out, my emotions raw and exposed. It's like I've run a marathon, both physically and mentally. I can feel the tension in my body, the exhaustion in my bones. But amidst this exhaustion, there's also a strange, unexpected sense of hope. This hope comes from small victories we achieve in each session. We've had breakthroughs that felt like rays of sunlight piercing through a stormy sky, moments where we finally understand each other, where my mom and I can see eye to eye on something that has been a source of conflict for so long. These moments are rare and fleeting, but they give me the strength to keep going. We're learning to communicate more effectively, something that has always been a struggle for us. It's a slow and often painful process, but we're starting to develop the tools we need to listen to each other. We're learning to speak without accusation, to express our feelings without blame. It's like we're learning a new language, one of empathy, respect, and understanding. Acknowledging each other's feelings and perspectives is another huge part of this journey. It's been eye-opening to see things from my mom's point of view and to understand the struggles and fears that have shaped her actions. And I think she's starting to see things from my perspective too, and to realize how her actions have impacted me over the years. Update 5. Hello, everyone. It's been a while since my last update, and I wanted to share some updates in my life. I couldn't update sooner as my grandmother went through surgery recently, and I had to be there for her, to look after her, and my grandfather. But since my grandmother is back home and is doing well now, the past few weeks have been eventful, and I have some exciting news to share. I just graduated school with honors. I'm extremely proud to have reached this milestone, especially after everything that happened. To celebrate this, my grandparents threw a small graduation party for me. It was a warm and intimate gathering with close friends and family, and for the first time in a long time, I felt genuinely happy and celebrated. Their love and effort made the day unforgettable. Seeing the pride in their eyes as they congratulated me was heartwarming and made it feel like all the hard work and challenges were worth it. My relationship with my mom is still a work in progress, and I'm very grateful that we've come so far. We've continued with family therapy, and it's been a mix of progress and setbacks. Therapy has provided a structured environment where we can address our issues in a controlled and supportive setting. There are days when I feel hopeful about our relationship, when we make breakthroughs and understand each other a little better. On these days, I can see the potential for healing and rebuilding our bond. There are also days when it feels like nothing has changed, and we are stuck in the same old patterns. Through therapy, I've learned to manage my expectations and to celebrate even the small steps forward. One of the most significant lessons I've learned in therapy is the importance of setting boundaries and advocating for myself. For so long, I felt like I had to accept everything thrown my way, but now I understand that my feelings and needs are valid. It's a skill that I know will serve me well in all areas of my life. My grandparents have been my rock throughout this entire process. Their unwavering support has given me the strength to face these challenges head-on. They've attended some therapy sessions with me to better understand my perspective and to learn how they can support me further. I'm also continuing to work at my part-time job, which has helped me develop a strong sense of independence and responsibility. Balancing work, school, and personal growth has been challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Another big update: I've been accepted into my dream college. The moment I received the acceptance letter was surreal. It felt like the culmination of all my hard work and the support from everyone who has stood by me, especially my grandparents. They have been incredibly supportive throughout this entire process, from helping me with applications and visiting campuses to setting up a college fund to ensure I can attend without financial stress. Their generosity and belief in my potential have been overwhelming and deeply touching. The college preparation has been a whirlwind of activities. My grandparents and I have spent countless hours researching housing options, understanding financial aid packages, and planning for the transition. They even surprised me with a trip to visit the campus one last time before the start of the semester, allowing me to get a feel for my new environment and meet some of the faculty and fellow students. This opportunity feels like a fresh start, and I'm excited about the future and the possibilities that lie ahead. My relationship with my mom remains complicated, but there have been some positive developments. She attended my graduation, and to my surprise, was respectful and supportive throughout the event. Seeing her there, clapping and smiling as I walked across the stage, was a small but significant step toward mending our fractured relationship. It wasn't an instant fix, but it was a gesture that meant a lot to me and showed me that she was making an effort. We've agreed to keep working on our relationship slowly. The family therapy sessions have been instrumental in helping us communicate better and address the underlying issues that have caused so much pain. Each session is a step toward healing, allowing us to speak openly in a safe and moderated environment. The therapist has provided us with tools and strategies to navigate our conversations more constructively, reducing misunderstandings and fostering empathy. I've made it clear to her that my priority right now is my education and well-being. This clarity has been crucial in setting boundaries that protect my mental health and academic goals. She has decided to respect it, recognizing the significance of my development and future goals. We're taking it one step at a time, concentrating on developing trust and understanding each other's perspectives. This incremental method allows us to address deeply rooted issues without overwhelming either of us. It's about minor victories and moments when we can listen without interrupting or express ourselves freely without fear of being judged. Every small connection, no matter how tiny, builds a stronger foundation for our relationship. I'm feeling more positive and hopeful than I have in a long time. My grandparents have been my rock, providing a stable foundation that allows me to pursue my dreams and aspirations. Their home is a haven of love and security, where I am encouraged to be myself and reach my goals without fear. Their unwavering support and love have been the bedrock of my recovery and growth. With their encouragement, I feel ready to tackle the challenges of college and embrace this new chapter of my life. The prospect of college is both exciting and daunting, but I know that I'm not facing it alone. My grandparents are helping me prepare in every possible way, from packing essentials to offering advice on how to handle new social situations. As I embark on this new adventure, I carry these lessons with me, ready to face whatever comes my way. The future feels bright, and I'm eager to see where it leads. I've also been reflecting on the journey that has brought me to this point. The highs and lows, the moments of doubt and triumph, have all shaped who I am today. I've learned the importance of resilience, the value of supportive relationships, and the power of self-advocacy. These lessons will stay with me as I navigate the future. As I step into this next phase of my life, I carry your kindness and positivity with me, feeling more confident and hopeful than ever before. Here's to new beginnings and the bright future ahead. I'm looking forward to the opportunities and experiences that college will bring, and I'm committed to making the most of them with the strong foundation my grandparents have helped me build. I'm ready to take on the world.